Well, hello and welcome back, everybody. I'm just getting together. We're going to do a little trade recap for this week, the first week of June. And we're just going to go over where we're at and how it's going. It's not doing too bad. Um, if you guys watched my last recap, you'll know that I downsized considerably because we were in kind of a free fall. And I blamed it on me maybe sizing a little too much. And then I was just getting nervous. And when you are trading and you're trading nervous, you're less likely to make as much money on your winning trades, and then you'll lose more and more money on your losing trades. So we are going to continue. I'm going to jump into um, the trades and we're going to go over them. Okay, just a sec.
Can I have a snack? Otherwise, and those were food for me.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. So let's start out with Monday. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my trade journal, and that's what we're going to start with. We'll look at my trade journal and see how that looks. Okay. So here's my trade journal. So this is what this is what this week looked like. And as you guys can see, we had an interesting week. Started out 65. This is today. We took two trades today, and we'll talk about how things are going there too. So on Monday, took a total of three trades, had two wins and a break even, $65. So this is once again three trades, six contracts, doing two contracts a trade. On Tuesday, I went right in, two contracts and two losses right out the gate. So things just weren't going my way, and I just shut it down. So, and what's interesting is you can see that my previous value was 832, and even though I made $9 or $10 more on Monday than Tuesday, it brought me down to below my previous value. So this was actually a net loss, as you can see here, between the first 2 days. Next day I made 76. And then this day is the most interesting day. I took a total of 8 trades, and we'll talk about that. I actually was beyond my $50 loss, daily loss, and I took another trade. But we'll talk about why and how this worked out. But I basically got back to break even with a net negative $5 for the day. So that's why I colored this in yellow. And then this was another good day today. 2 trades filled 150. And as you can see, 6 contracts. So I have upped my sizing just a little bit. And that is part of the reason that I was willing to take another trade here, because I decided that I was going to up my sizing. And that means that I was also upping my loss allowance here. So I had a little bit more credit to work with here, and that's why I went ahead and took another trade, because I changed my daily loss limit from 50 to 75. So let's look at the trades. Let's jump back into the charts. All right, so let's first of all, oh, this isn't good. Oh, there it is. For some reason I couldn't find it. We have to load 6 days because we have to look at Sunday too. All right, so focus in on it. What day is that? Let's shrink this down a little bit. Okay, so this is us. Wish I knew what day that was. It's kind of okay. There's June 1st. So June 1st was Monday. Okay, so I need to take it back one more day because we got to get to May 31st. Oh, that's what this is. June 1st is Monday. Okay, so that works out. So this is exactly what I was talking about. This works out, guys. Let's zoom in. Okay. So let's remind ourselves where we were on Monday. Monday we had 3 trades and 2 wins and a break even. So this is Sunday afternoon that I took these trades. I don't know what is this. I didn't trade at the very beginning of the night. I didn't think. This looks like I took a trade right at the very beginning of the night. I don't know if that's accurate. Let's look at trade summary. Bear with me, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. This is saying I took trades on the 30th and the 31st. And that's not true. Look. Oh, no, it just says the 31st. Oh, that's what I did. Okay, so this kind of breaks it down for us a little bit. So looking at this, we took a trade. We can actually see the timestamp too. Let's look at our timeline here. So on the 31st, yeah, that's what I thought. I took 2 trades around 7 o'clock at night. And then on the 1st, I took 1 more trade, which was my break-even trade, because I just didn't want to lose any money. So let's go in and look at that. So that's not one of my trades, I don't think. All right, so let's see what we had. Now these were successful trades, and let's try and see why. So we're running around 7 o'clock. I took a trade. Oh, look at this, guys. Okay, this thing would have gone to the moon. So here what we had is this was just creeping along, right? And it finally makes a breakout above this kind of a range, and it came down and held here. And I liked that, and I also liked that I had a pretty short stop loss here. So I went ahead and entered there because I thought, yeah, it's no big deal. And I'm just going to go to the top of this candle, hoping that it'll do a breakout. And look at that. It would have shot, guys. It went way up. I could have put I could have just let it go. But I made $39 on that trade. And then it came down here. I got in again. Once it came down, made another point there, and I went for a target here, and look at that, it filled. So that was that trade. It was this first one wasn't for very much money because this is actually not that big. So that first trade was for $24, and the second trade was for like $39. So that was almost full target, and this one was for uh, such a small amount. Like I could have got so much more out of that, obviously. Look at that. It shot up in 1 minute. But at any rate, it doesn't matter. So that was that day. You can see why I took the trades. This one was maybe a little questionable, but I did like that it pulled back from here. It did have a little hiccup here, but it came down into support. I liked that this was also a layer here. So I felt more confident about this trade because you have this support layer caused by these tops, right? Let's talk about this a little bit. Okay, so we have this support layer happening right here, right? You can see it was acted as resistance, then we got above it, and then it'll act as support. So we had that support layer. We had the gold line it was coming into too. So the EMA, which I like for a support layer. So I had double support layers there coming off a high. So I had a lot of good things going for it. So I took that trade and we wanted it to break here. So I could have gotten a couple more ticks out of it, but I conservatively just leave it right around the top. That way, if it double tops, I still get my target filled. And let's see if it would have gone all the way. No, I didn't. And then it kind of petered out. But I was done for the day, so I didn't need to mess with it anymore. Okay, so that was basically that was Sunday night. And then I actually, when I was looking at it, I actually looked at it. I think I looked at it Monday during the day too. So let's look at Monday daytime. If we can pop open our trade performance, we can actually see when I took the trade. 9:22 it says. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, so here we got kind of a softening, but then we have it moving down towards the red line. And then we finally hit the red line here. That would have been a trade right there, potentially. But What I don't like is that it didn't really penetrate the red line well. And then this is a big rejection. So I'm glad I didn't take that trade. And then look how it just kind of peters around it. So here I would expect it to continue down. And that's what I did too, right? So I entered for this to go down. It shot down a little bit. I didn't like the way it looked, and I moved my stop loss to break even basically because I just didn't like this. And I'm glad I did because look, it went back up. So that was a smart move by me. I was being very hesitant about it. I just didn't like this reaction that I got, the big tail here. And so I just got out of that trade. So that's just intuition kicking in. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes you kick yourself because you're like, I would have just stayed in that trade and it would have worked. But in this case, it worked out. So that's all you got. You just have to make decisions in the moment. All right, so that is Monday. That was 2 trades for a win and a break even. So it could have been worse, right? Then we got into Tuesday. 2 trades on Tuesday, and they were both losses. Look at that. So let's look at Tuesday. Oh, that's also, we can kind of, around 9 o'clock. That's what happens a lot of times too, right? Is my losses will come in quick succession. So I didn't look at it Monday night, which sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And I've noticed that nighttime trading tends to work out pretty well for me. So sometimes I wish I would just trade at night. Okay, so here we are. Let's zoom in on this. We'll see how right trades went. Okay, so we have this kind of a zone moving up. But what I do see here, right? Here you got it nicely respecting the gold line. So these are good entry points, right? You got this one that came up, respected the gold line. But then it kind of meandered on the other side of the gold line. And we see that happening a lot here, right? And we have a bunch of junky stuff going on here. Then I get a breakout there, and I'm like, okay, so this is going to come down. It's going to set up perfectly for me for a trade up. And I entered there, and what did it do, guys? Came right down. So you guys can see that. We can see it just ticked in above here. To me, that's a good indication that it's going to go north. And then it came down. But my issue is this wasn't a good entry yet. And that was the issue here. I should have let this candle finish. Then I could have my stop below that because I think it's this one would have worked. See that? Look at it. And then I don't know if that's a ghost or if that's the same one. That's the same trade. That's a ghost trade. So I entered here for a buy, expecting it to break. And what did it do? It came down and just ticked me out right away. That's what happened here. And that's just a ghost of it. And then I was upset. So what did I do? Would have waited for a little bit, and now I see this move down to the red line. This is a trade right here, but I didn't take it. And is that both my trades? That could be both my trades right there. Let's double check. This is what happens a lot, right? Is when I lose, I'll take 2 trades really close to each other. No, my next trades, let's see. 9:12 and then 9:15. Yep. So this is an issue. I was really upset and I tried to get back in with another buy here. I wanted to do it, just automatically failed on me again. So this is one of the issues I have sometimes, right? Is I will get in a trade and then the move doesn't work, and then I really expected that move to work, especially when I see a big candle like this. I get frustrated with myself because it just ticked me out, and I think this is still going to work. And look, they're giving me another chance to enter here. So I got back in, and what did it do? It failed on me. So this is one of the things I need to stop doing. If I get in on a trade, this is what sucks, right? When you get ticked out, it really kind of flusters you because you're like, that trade was going to work. And I still expected it to, which is why I re entered. But when it didn't work like this, God, it's so frustrating. And I don't know how you can fix that. But at any rate, that was my Tuesday. Within 2 minutes, was down $60 basically, and said, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to keep doing this. And that's good to notice, right? That is a way to follow your rules, is when it doesn't work, you stop. Okay, so let's move on. So next day, the 3rd, we went in the morning. So I skipped the night section for the 3rd. So let's look at morning time. Gotta focus on it. So no night. We're looking for morning. Here we go. I think it's like 9 in the morning. That's it's going to work out a lot of the times that's my trading time, because that's just when I have the availability to trade because of my schedule at home. I've got other responsibilities to do. Okay, so let's see. So after my terrible start yesterday, and now this kind of stuff happens, right? You'll get into a rhythm. So I've got kind of a ranging pattern here going on. I've really got no business getting into any of these trades because of this ranging pattern. Look at this, like this right here. But once again, this is from a range. So you'd expect it to bounce at the bottom of this and go back up. Let's see what we got going on. Okay, so we finally got moving out of the range, right? We've got a ranging pattern and it broke down below the range. So now I'm looking for a continuation. Oh, but what did I do, guys? It looks like I entered for a buy here, expecting a bounce off this line, which is not even a trade I take. That's not one of my trades. And I don't know why I took that trade, but it was a bad decision and it failed, like right away. So then I recentered myself. Oh no, I in fact doubled down again. And this is the danger of doubling down, is it worked this time. Went up, hit my target. So I took a trade here and it failed. But I liked how, this is what I liked. It was holding above the line here. And so to me, I'm like, okay, well, it's holding above the line. It was an obvious rejection from beyond the line. It's holding above the line. I'm going to take another entry. So I took another entry at the line here and it filled. And there it went all the way back up. I could have made more money. Now I'm watching it and look at this trade, guys. This is a great trade. So then it comes back up. It holds at this line and I'm expecting it to revisit this line again. We got a beautiful little doji right here. And I did, at the break of this, I did an entry to go down to this line again, and bam, it filled. And I think that's it, right? No. So I've got one win, one loss, a win, a loss. Let's see. Yep, 3 trades, 2 wins and a loss, $76. And the reason that that's so good is because that last one was a really good trade, right? Oh, then I traded in the evening here. Okay. So that trade right there, $60 on that trade. First trade was a decent trade. Second trade was a pretty good trade. Without that loss trade, look at that. I would have been up over $100 on that day. So that was a pretty good day, $76. Okay, now let's look at our disaster day, guys. So this started in the evening and things just kind of went crazy. So it's around 9 p.m. the next evening. Let's take a look. So, no, 5. I took a trade at 5 and it filled. Okay, so we had it coming from a low up into here, and I got here right after this happened, and I was like, oh man, I expect that to go all the way back down. I would have entered here. This would have been a beautiful trade. Rejection off the red line, put my entry there, but I missed that trade. And so it came back up. I had my little candle area here, and I was like, okay, I'll put my stop right above this point, and I entered here, and it went my way almost right away. Kind of hesitated here, you can see, and then it just shot all the way down, hit my target, and then you can see it rejected the other way, and then I realized there must have been some kind of news or something at 5. So that's kind of frustrating. So then what did my next trade do? Well, it came down here. Looks like I went long, expecting it to continue up at this point. And so that was a poor decision. I'm not sure why I did that. Like, this isn't a good entry at all. Why enter there? And it failed on me. So just shows that, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And then here, once again, I still don't have the commitment that it's going to go long yet, but I enter too early again and it fails again. So I went from a win to 2 losses right in a row. And then we were sitting around like negative $20 here. Because remember, my win is 50 and each of these is about 25. So I'm sitting right just a little negative right there. Yeah, I'm sitting just a little negative, like down $6 right there now. So that was a little frustrating. Then I'm waiting. Let's see. I don't even know if I took any more trades that night. I think I did. Yeah, I kept taking trades. So 5:30. Yeah, I just kept taking trades. Let's take a look. Because, yeah, I'm basically at break even right now, feeling frustrated. So here, what trade is this? I shorted it here. Why? I don't know. Like, it's just like I was throwing stuff at it. Like, oh, I was expecting it to resist off of this line. And as you can see, it even went my way considerably, right? So I got in here, it went all the way down to here, didn't hit my target. My target was like here. And then it went against me, came up and knocked me out. Then here, I shorted it again. It went my way some, didn't hit my target, came up and knocked me out. So here's a couple of scenarios where I kept going against the trend. So counter trend trading, real smart, real good stuff here, guys. And before you know it, I just kept, look at this. Yep, I kept on shorting it. So I shorted it again. No, that's the same one. Is that the same one? That's hard to tell. I took too many trades here. And I think that's where I stopped for the night. Let's see. Yeah, I think I did. Let's double check. My last trade, yeah, was at 5:30. And I said, that's enough. I obviously am not seeing this well. I'm counter trading, which is just dumb. Fighting against the trade. Like, it's going this way. My trade should have been a buy at this point, right? But what was throwing me off is all these lines. I didn't like trading into the lines. Like, obviously, I could have put a buy here. If my stop was down here, it would have gone to target. Like, there's so many places, right? If I followed my rules. Here, once again, there's just no trade in here, honestly, because I don't trade these lines. And when I do, I have issues. See, I was hoping that it was going to reject off this line, give me a nice pullback for money. Didn't work. Then I expected to reject off this line. Didn't work. It finally rejects off this line, but by then I'm shy, so I'm not trading that, right? So I could have gotten my trade finally here, but by then I'm not taking more trades because I already lost too much money trying to fight it. So by the time you give up, you know, that's when you would have made money. Okay, so let's go next morning. I think we started around 8 in the morning. This is interesting. So at this point, let's see, I took my first trade was for 40 bucks. And then now I'm down down $59 if I remember correctly. So I started the day out down 59, right? Let's double check. Let's bring back up my trade journal. So this is where we're at, guys. So I started this day down 59, but I was feeling bolstered by how close we are to break even here. And so I told myself, you know what? I'm going to change. I've decided that I'm going to go up to 3 micros. I didn't do it on this day because I was already down, but I said, you know what? I am willing to risk one more trade. Let's look for a good trade and we'll go from there. So, this was Thursday morning, and I said, I'll get back in it and I'll do a little more trading because I think I've got enough risk allowance left to trade up to one more loss. So let's look at it. I was eager to get into because I got in before 9 o'clock. All right. So now here's what we got going on. We've got nice big move up, and then we got a ranging pattern. This is a common pattern, guys. Pay attention. We get trends, we get ranging, and then we either get a continuation of the trend or a reversal. So that's what we got. Big push down. I saw this little pullback and I looked at that as a good way to get in on a continuation trend down. And I even got a late entry on this and it hit my target right away, 50 bucks. So then let's see what I did here. Okay, it's the same one. That's a ghost trade. All right, so then I almost entered here, but I didn't. And as you can see, that would have been a great trade. And the reason I didn't, oh, that's right. So I had my entry down here. When it broke here, I put my entry in here, hoping that it would pull back to me and pull me up. So I could have my stop beyond. Now we're looking for another buy here because look, we got this pullback from a high. Trying to figure out why would I enter so soon. This one stopped me out. Yeah, I got in too early on that one. And it stopped me out. And then when it came and bounced off there, I did another entry here because this was actually my good entry. And then what I'm looking at is we came off the red line. Usually what that means is that we're going to revisit the high. So I still had full confidence that we're moving all the way back up here, which is why I re-entered. So re-entered here and it went back up, hit my target. And then because I had a very conservative target, right? I could have gotten my full $50 there as well. but I had a conservative target. And I think that's where I called it, guys. So I was up, at this point, I was up $11. And I said, you know what? I'm just not going to mess with it anymore. Watch what it does, by the way. See that? Just like I said, off the red line, up to the previous high. I could have had my target here, right? And it would have filled. And how much money is that? That's a decent amount, guys. But at any rate, I was done for the day. No more trading. There's more opportunities here. I wasn't here examining them. All right, so then finally, we finally got to, so there's that 50, 15, and then 35. Those were the last three trades. Then let's look at last night. So that's what I traded. I traded last night. I did not trade this morning. Traded last night around 9. No, around 5:30. Okay, so here we are. And now I've currently changed my order quantity to 3. So you guys can see, I don't know if you can see that. You might not be able to see it. Yeah, you guys can see it. So I changed my order quantity to 3. I've decided that I was going to up my amount. So we've got up downtrend, we've got pull up above. This is a reset coming down. And I expect at this point, after the reset, comes back down below, it's going to find resistance here and work back down to a new low. That's my, oh, see that? I didn't take that trade. My target would have been here, entry there, but I didn't take it. I just wanted more confidence. I wanted more assurance. Now we got a new low. So we've got a downtrend, right? Look at this. Look at this. This is a downtrend. There's no way I was expecting this to go back up. Not right now, anyway. So we had this is a reset where it pulls up above the gold line, comes back down and revisits. See, then the gold line holds here, and then new low. So now we're looking for a continuation trade off this. So we're watching. This is a beautiful setup here, looking for it. So here, this was interesting. I actually got into this one a little bit early because I just liked the way everything was looking. So I went ahead and I entered here with a short with my stop loss above here. And I went for it. I just went with 50 bucks. Although my target should have been here. As you can see, it would have filled my target. But I'm still a little shy, or not 50 bucks, because this is now 3. And so that's kind of made me a little less, optimistic or a little more conservative with my trade, which I shouldn't have been, right? I should have just gone with my system. So I got to keep that in mind. My system is this tail, right? I should have been here with my target. And that would have been another, I don't know. Let's see. I got out at 68 and I could have got down to 61. That's like seven more points, guys. I could have got way more than that, actually. I could have gone to the red line. Okay, so then I saw this red line, and this red line represented a previous low, right? So I was thinking, well, that could be a good rejection point. So I didn't want to trade into it too much. So it kind of hesitated. This is why I didn't take this trade, because I didn't like this line, trading into that line. But then what did we get? We got a breakdown below the line, then come up, and we're using that line now as resistance. And saw this happen. Actually, I didn't. I was busy trying to make dinner. But I saw this, right? Now here, this is the important thing. If it's respecting a zone, it's going to violently reject the zone and stay above the zone. If it's accepting or moving beyond a zone, it's going to reject, but then set up on the other side of the zone. So in this case, the previous low, the red line, and then set up and build up momentum before it goes down. So to me, that is a strong point that it's going to continue down. So then I was looking for a way to enter back into this trade. So here we got a push back up, and now I'm looking for a short here. And I wasn't here for that. I think I missed that because I wasn't here for that, but that would have been a really good short. I'm still looking for an entry. And here we go. So finally, I'm back. I see this entry. I take a short. We're going, and I just went for 50 bucks again. Once again, conservative. I could have gone back down to the tail, and I cut myself out of money again on that. So I got out at 109. I could have got another 4 points, it looks like. So I left a total of 11 points on the table. And got, my target is 50 ticks, I think. Yeah, my target is 50 ticks. So that's 10, 12, 12 and a half points. So I left a total of 75 bucks on the table. So each one of these trades was worth 75 bucks. That was up 150, and that's it. I was done for the day. And that brings us to where we are right now, guys. So this is currently where we're at. We're up above our starting point. Finally, again, up 40 bucks, $150 today. And we are looking strong. I'm going to continue with 3. I'm going to try and work on allowing it to actually go to my expected target instead of just settling for the 50 ticks. But that's what we're moving forward with. Thanks for coming along, guys. And I will see you next week. We'll do another recap and